So we're working inside today.
Greetings guys, and thank you for tuning in. It is still winter outside here in Pennsylvania, so we are working in the garage. Simple job today. Figured I'd film it though just in case it's going to be useful for somebody. We're going to be replacing a power steering hose that is currently leaking on the 350Z. This is going to be a very simple project to do. If you are more of a visual learner though, and you have a 350Z and you happen to need this hose replaced, this is the power steering suction hose. You'll be able to see it. And then also if you are new to cars, or working on cars I should say, this is a good little intro as to how to work on things with fluids, because we're going to be having to extract the power steering fluid from the reservoir. And also if you ever need to be working on something power steering fluid related but you don't have a 350Z, this video still might be useful, because the process quite frankly is going to be pretty much the same regardless of what vehicle or make you are working on. So let's show you where the problem is. Your power steering reservoir is going to be right over here. Underneath the power steering reservoir there are two hoses that go in the bottom, and one of them is leaking. I don't know how well you'll be able to see on the camera, but the one that the light is shining on at the moment, you can see the glossiness from the power steering fluid that is leaking. I ended up noticing some of it falling down. This is the one, if you can see here, that actually plugs into the power steering pump. So this is where it actually suctions the power steering fluid. And on the other side, you can see right there, there's another one that connects into it. That I believe is the return hose. So this one is fine, there's no issues, but as you can see on this one, over here, this is all oily, and that's where it's leaking. It's not a bad leak. Been driving around with it like this for a while actually, but obviously we're going to replace this. It could just be the connection, the clamp, that's the issue underneath it, but as opposed to taking any chances, I did purchase a new hose, and then we'll change it out. Now the hose that I purchased, as you can see, was a pre-fitted hose, hence its shape. You could probably go to any automotive store and buy one that isn't pre-fitted and just hook it up and make it work. I just figured I don't know, I was picky and I picked the one that is pre-fitted. If you want a pre-fitted one, Concept Z sells them, and Z1 Motorsports sells their own. They are made of silicone as opposed to these guys actually, so they should last you forever basically. They should not degrade over time. Now obviously, first thing we need to do is extract all of this fluid from in here. In order to do that, I'm going to use this fluid extractor. Use whatever you can or whatever you have, but obviously we need to take all of this fluid off first and then get to the hose. Okay, once you've extracted the fluid, you're going to come to a hard stop, because inside the power steering reservoir there's like a little plate actually, so there's going to be some leftover fluid underneath that you will not be able to suction out. So be prepared that this is going to get a little messy. In order to make a little room, I removed the coolant reservoir, which is very easy to take off. It's just one 10mm right over here, and then it slides up. Disconnect your hose. Again, make sure you have some rags, because inevitably you're going to make a little bit of a mess. So this is going to give us a little bit better access in order to remove this, and we're going to take the catch can off as well, just to give us a little bit of access. Which, speaking of, if you don't know what an oil catch can does, or how to install one, or why you should install one, scroll through some of my videos and check that video out. Do ignore the audio in that video. That was when I first started making some videos. I was experimenting with some microphones, so the audio on that particular video isn't the best, but it's good content. Check it out. Okay, so as I mentioned, when you pull out the hose from underneath, there's still going to be some power steering fluid left in the bottom part of this, so make sure you put something down obviously to catch it so that you don't make a mess. And PS, when I emptied the oil catch can, yeah, some nasty oil in there, so put a catch can on your cars. Check that video out, guys. Okay, I took out the old hose. Just be careful, obviously, when you pull it out. Same thing's going to happen. You're going to have power steering fluid leaking from the very bottom. So just try to be prepared as best you can to have some rags on hand to soak up as much as you can. The new silicone hose is in, so we just have to actually put the clamps on, reconnect everything, and then we'll be able to fill her up. Alright, so the new hose is in and it is connected. I use some warm clamps, just personal preference, as opposed to the pinch clamps that were on there. So we're going to reconnect everything and then fill her back up with some fresh power steering fluid. And we are all finished. I hope this was useful for some of you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, please just drop a comment down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. I'll see you next time.